Hey everyone, welcome back to Mindful Reads. If you're a fan of psychological thrillers that keep you on the edge of your seat, then you're in for a treat today. I recently finished The Housemaid by Freida McFadden, and let me tell you, it is one of those books that hooks you from the very first page and does not let go. It's a story about secrets, power, and survival. But most importantly, it's a story about what happens when people are pushed to their limits. If you want to hear the full story or grab a copy of the book, I've left a link in the description below for you to check out. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. So, let me take you into the world of The Housemaid through the eyes of the protagonist, Millie Calloway. Millie's life hasn't been easy. She's been through a lot, to say the least. Wrongfully convicted, spending years behind bars, and then finally being released, only to find that the world has moved on without her. She's left with nothing, no family, no home, and a reputation that's hard to shake. She's desperate, and that's where the story begins. One day, she gets a call, a job offer to be a live-in housemaid for the Davis family, a wealthy, seemingly perfect family. At first, it feels like a lifeline, a way to restart her life. But as she settles into their grand mansion, she begins to realize that the perfect life they project isn't as flawless as it seems. The Davis family has its own dark secrets, and soon, Millie finds herself tangled in a web of lies, manipulation, and danger. I wasn't sure what I expected when I walked into the Davis mansion, but it definitely wasn't this. The house was beautiful, grand, pristine, everything in its place, but it had this cold, clinical feel to it. And then I met Nina. She was perfect in every way, beautiful, poised, and commanding, but there was something in her eyes that didn't sit right with me. Cold, almost calculating. And then there was Andrew, her husband. He seemed nice enough, charming even, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something he wasn't telling me. They seemed like the kind of people you'd want to work for. A perfect family in a perfect home. But from the moment I stepped inside, I could tell something wasn't quite right. I was hired to clean, to cook, to help with their daughter Olivia, but it didn't take long for me to realize that my job was going to be a lot more complicated than I thought. At first, everything seemed normal. I cleaned, I cooked, I did everything they asked. But there was always this tension in the air. Nina was distant. She was controlling, especially when it came to Olivia. The little girl was sweet, but I couldn't help but notice how Nina kept her under her thumb, always hovering, always watching. It wasn't like any mother-daughter relationship I had ever seen. Every time I tried to get closer to Olivia, Nina would intervene, making sure I stayed out of her way. It didn't make sense at first. Why wouldn't a mother want the help of another woman in her life? But there was something about Nina's obsession with Olivia that didn't add up. And then there were the quiet moments when Andrew would disappear for hours, and Nina would sit in the dark, alone, staring off into space like she was waiting for something to happen. It was almost like she was waiting for a storm, but wasn't sure when it would hit. Eventually, Nina and I started talking. I thought maybe she was warming up to me. She told me about her past, about the son she lost. She said it was the worst thing that had ever happened to her, and I could see the pain in her eyes when she spoke of him. But there was something else beneath her words, a coldness, a sense of control. The more I listened, the more I realized she wasn't telling me everything. She had a way of twisting her words, of controlling the conversation, like she was trying to make me feel sorry for her. But the more I spent time in the house, the more I started to notice the cracks in the facade. Olivia seemed terrified of her mother, almost as if she was walking on eggshells around her. I couldn't figure it out. It didn't feel like a normal parent-child relationship. And then I began to wonder if Nina's grief was masking something darker, something more sinister. The more I dug into their lives, the more I uncovered. I overheard conversations. I found things I wasn't supposed to see, and I began to put the pieces together. It wasn't just the Davis family's past that was disturbing. It was their present too. There were lies everywhere. Andrew wasn't the man he appeared to be, and Nina's control over her family went deeper than I had first realized. But it wasn't just about their secrets. It was about my own survival. I needed to protect myself. As I spent more time in their house, I started to feel like I was being pulled into a trap. The more I uncovered, the more dangerous it became. The tension between Nina and I reached a breaking point one night when I discovered a letter that Andrew had written to Nina. The letter was full of dark confessions, things that neither of them had ever told me. The secrets they were hiding, the manipulations they had been playing, it all started to make sense. But with every truth I uncovered, the more it felt like my own life was on the line. I didn't know who I could trust anymore. I didn't even know if I could trust myself. All I knew was that I had to get out before it was too late. But getting out wasn't going to be easy. The twist in The Housemaid, the big reveal, it's something I never saw coming. As everything unraveled, I realized just how deep the lies ran, how far the deception had gone. The Davis family's perfect little world wasn't just a facade. It was a prison, and I was trapped in it. The shocking truth about Nina's past, the secrets Andrew was hiding, and the darkness that lived within their walls. It all came to a head in a way I can't even describe. But in the end, I found the courage to fight back. I realized that even in the darkest of situations, we still have the power to take control of our own story. The Housemaid is a story about more than just a woman cleaning a wealthy family's home. It's about power, manipulation, and the lengths people will go to in order to protect their secrets. It's about survival in a world where nothing is as it seems, and even the people who seem the most perfect are hiding dark truths. If you're looking for a psychological thriller that will leave you breathless, this book is definitely for you. It's got twists, suspense, and a gripping narrative that'll keep you hooked until the very last page. If you want to grab a copy or read the full version, make sure to check out the link in the description below. And as always, if you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more book discussions and reviews. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.